I just had like 10 conversations in my head. And I was like, oh, you uncovered some good things. And then I completely forgot all of them. This is why I do this. I used to just say it out loud to a person on the phone, or like I talk to my friend Ryan all the time on the phone at night when I'm in this mode. Or if there is a person here, I will tell them the things. And I say them out loud because I want someone to remember, because I know I'm not going to remember. And I used to feel like, so preface, I have no idea what I'm going to talk about. And we'll discover something. I used to feel really bad about my memory, that it's really terrible. You know, it was something that Ian used to say. So Ian is my first husband, baby daddy. Still living. He has no short-term memory, so he can't remember what happened, like what he ate for lunch, but he can tell you what happened 2 years ago. And I'm the opposite. Like, I don't know, I feel like Dory or something, and it's just getting worse. But he was always kind of amazed. Why am I always itching my eyes when I'm out here? Because it's freaking allergy season. He was always kind of amazed at how much I didn't remember. And I think when you know somebody for long enough, then you start to not take it personally. Like, it's not personal. I can't remember things. And to find out, and I like felt like it was my fault, like it's because I like used to drink and do drugs and shit. Is that it? Or is it just because I'm the age that I am? But it turns out that depression and trauma affect your memory. And I don't know the science. I didn't even look into it. That all I needed to hear was that suggestion. And I was like, well, that makes sense, because it is traumatizing to be depressed. I feel like that's a word now that we're using all the time, and it'll get like cycled out, you know, like handicapped. And we don't say that, and it's like, you know, that term became applicable to too many things, and people get offended at the word. Or like, oh God, I hope I don't, like the word midget. I didn't know when I was a kid that was the only word that there was, and it was not meant to be derogatory. And then that word changed. That's completely different than what I just said. But anyway, trauma, like at first, when it wasn't being said all the fucking time, or maybe it just wasn't being said by me, because I didn't know. That's the crazy thing. Maybe that's what we're talking about. Is trauma, I used to think of as like really big things that you would make a movie about, you know, like car accidents, or, you know, like head trauma, or like rape, or I don't know, like really bad shit, murder and stuff. Your spouse killing themselves. Like that was traumatic. That is obviously traumatic. But then there are the other things that certainly do invoke the feeling of trauma. Now that I'm like so familiar with it, that I get to look back and realize like the things that I experienced were trauma. And, you know, the rainbow, the more you know, like when you know that, to me, my choices and who I am have become much more clear to me, which is cool, but it's also not, because going back to last video, this is what happened, this is why I'm fucked up. Like when you know, then once you're aware of why you do what you do, then the next step is work. I don't want to work all the time. I feel like I work all the time. All the time. All the time. All the time. Like all the time. And it's not just the hours that I'm in a physical location telling people what to do with their bodies, or whatever I have to do at home for the studio, like on my computer and stuff. It's the driving, but then like the thinking, just the thinking and preparing about the thing. And then if I'm not thinking about actual work things, I'm doing some kind of personal work. Or maybe the work is just to like remember to fucking set the alarm. Set 2 alarms so that you get up at the time that you're supposed to get up. Don't let anyone down. Make sure everyone's happy all the fucking time. Your children, your partner, your partners, your students, your bosses, your coworkers, your fucking dog who's staring at me right now. You gotta make sure everyone's happy all the fucking time, all the time. There's 7,000 motherfucking balls in the air. I have resentment about that. This is what happened. This is why I'm fucked up. This is what I want to do to heal myself. So that's the thing. Get stuck there. So, oh man, that's good. So I was talking before about we get stuck on step one, this is what happened, this is why I'm fucked up, and then we don't do anything to change it and don't take responsibility for who we are in the present day. Step two, this is how I want to heal myself. But then we get stuck there too, because you ask the question, this is how I heal myself. Then you come up with an answer, or at least a proposed solution. But then step three, holy shit, this is unfolding. That's cool. Oh, I'm so glad I recorded this. Step three is now you recognize what you have to do and you have to actually do it. So you went digging for, the fuck, where is it? I found it. Oh, fuck. Now I have to do this thing. I want to do this thing. Let me stay here on level 2. It's just like a video game, Back in the day when I just had a Nintendo, I had the original one, and then Super Nintendo. I think I played that the most. You're playing Super Mario Brothers, you do the level over and 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 so many overs until you beat it. When you say it like that, Jess, it's so fucking obvious. Why do we get so upset that we don't get it right the first time? Why are we so hard on ourselves and then each other? Because you can't be one and not the other. Or at least you can. Like, I am hard on myself and I'm hard on other people, but I really rein it in. So if I'm ever hard on you, or you receive something as me being hard on you, I said hard a lot. I see your potential and it makes me insane when you don't pursue it or feed it. I don't do that with my kids though. That's the thing that has one be a fitness professional. This is not a lucrative career choice. No, it is not. No. The only people that I've ever known who just teach yoga, coach, whatever, who are okay at doing that, they either are married to someone who makes actual money, or they were a studio owner. That's not me. Or they do private stuff. Yeah. Why am I talking about this? Oh, so it's not about the money. It is an unfortunate thing, though, that the industry aimed at prevention of disease has this big of a budget and gets this much attention. And then the industry to try and cure or at least stave off the disease has all the, and we need that. We certainly do need aftercare. We need things vaccines and checkups and all that sort of thing. Because, something happens, you need attention. Even if it's just an injury, man, that's the whole thing. That has nothing to do with, well, it does have to do with your nutrition, because if you don't take care of yourself, your shit's gonna be more brittle. Yes, the medical industry, there are lots of people who should have the attention, right? The attention and the money, because they have all this fucking hard training. They're not just walking off the street hey, blah, blah, blah. In my industry, there's a lot of people who have a lot of credibility, and then there's like tons of people who don't. Like anybody could do this. Anybody could do this. Anybody could do it. If you talk to the right person, you'll figure it out. Yeah. It leads me to believe there must be a lot of I don't know. I don't feel special, but I know that like students think I'm special. But it's not me. That thing is not me. Where did we start? Oh no, I said maybe this is what we're going to talk about. Oh, that seems like forever ago. So somebody said, it was Brandon said on the Facebook, something about watching a movie, thinking about being the only person, like solitary confinement, or if you're the last living being on Earth, would that make you mad or would it set you free? And I was thinking about it, and I think that I would be more free. Because like, so much of my, maybe this is everybody, I don't know. So much of my misery is the word that just keeps coming up. It all has to do with other people. Yeah, whether it's a direct conflict or me just torturing myself with what they think of me or what they think I should be doing. I don't know. I guess I think I'm very important, and that everybody has a fucking opinion about how I should be living my life, doing doing me. That's not true. That's not true, because I'm just one person out of. What did we looked it up. It was like, I wanted to know how many people live in the state of New York, not just New York City, like the whole thing. So I had Olivia look it up in the car. So I didn't actually see it, I only heard it. So only one form of communication. When you get two, like when you hear it and read it at the same time, it's like in there twice. That's what they say, and I believe it. What? Shit. Come on. Oh, she was reading in the back. It's like 14.5 million. I wanted to know what the vaccine rate was for the state, because I had heard that it was like pretty good, above some of the other states. And I was like, wow, that's like a lot of people live in your state. How many is it? End of story. Why am I talking about that? I don't know. But I did find out that if your video is more than 15 minutes, you have to upload it from your computer, and I feel like that just takes forever. So we should probably go. I don't feel complete though. I have like a list of things I want to talk about, and then I walked out here. Guess what? I completely forgot what the list was. Oh, trauma. That's what we were talking about. Lots of little things. They're not little. They may seem little, but it's how we experience them that is traumatic. So what might be traumatic to me might not be to you, and vice versa, because we have a spectrum. We have a spectrum of sadness. Like when you're born, you don't know anything, so your spectrum of everything is very tiny. And then you're like crying a little bit because you're hungry and got to change your diaper. Then that's the only sadness that you know, and then something like actually happens. It's like that. There's sadness, and with trauma. So once you've experienced, the lion's share of it, I don't know, like just a large piece of trauma, other people's trauma might seem smaller to you or bigger to you. It's all relative. That's why there's no such thing as common sense. There's not. We think that there is, but common sense assumes that we are all coming from the same place, the same upbringing, the same assumptions, the same financial means, the same friend groups, references, pop culture. It's just not true. Because the behaviors, like, I mean, common sense refers to like a social behavior. Most people are supposed to know this thing, but if you weren't taught that thing or didn't have that thing as an example, it's not common sense. So if I remember hearing this for the first time like years ago, thinking, I don't know, it kind of blew my mind. And maybe that is happening for you, and maybe it's not. That's all right. But when we take that off the table, that there's no such thing as common sense, then it frees us up from judgment of other people if they don't know something that you think is very obvious, and vice versa. So that when we take that off the table and there's not going to be any judgment about knowing or not knowing something, it makes it easier to move forward and just ask questions when you don't know the answer that you're wondering about. That's something I feel really proud of myself about, I guess. I don't know. No, I don't want to say that proud. Let's say it is a quality that I value in myself, is that if I don't know, I'm just going to ask. I have no qualms about admitting that I don't know something. Because here's the thing, and if you talk to I swear to God, it makes me sick how fucking typical I am. Like right on what everybody says at this age. So here's the thing, if you had, like, people are older than you, and like they say something happens around a certain time, or the changes that they experience, like, all that shit is real. They're that way for a reason. Anyway, where was I? Help me. If you were actually sitting here, you could just say, I don't know, maybe you just tuned it out anyway. Hold up. Come on. Fucking fireworks. I don't know what I was gonna say. I'm just gonna listen to some goddamn fireworks.